Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the internet, and welcome back to the MOVIEVERSE podcast show. My name is the Habitual Pixel. This is my co-host Big Nasty Productions, and this is our second episode of Road to the Oscars 2015, where we watch every movie nominated for Best Picture and review them. Today we arrive at Whiplash, our second entry, and today's episode is brought to you by Smooth Jazz. Now, would you like to break down what Whiplash is all about? Because it kind of came out of nowhere on a lot of people's radar this year.
Well, so what it's about is this young kid who goes to, I believe it's called the Schaefer Conservatory, or Schaefer, some sort of Schaefer School of Music. Yeah, I don't know, something like that. Some
highly prestigious music school in New York.
Yeah, and he's, I don't know, from the understanding, he's like the backup. He's kind of sitting on the stool, turning the pages for the one guy. And all of a sudden,
he's a first-year student.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, one day he's practicing in the room by himself, and in walks Fletcher.
Fletcher, played by J.K. Simmons.
Who's the what do you call it? Is it still a conductor? Is that what you call it?
Yeah, he's the conductor / head of the class, I guess. He teaches the senior students.
Yeah, and he basically invites him into the studio band that he runs outside of that, or through the school. And from there on, he, starts to kind of realize that Fletcher is a little bit insane, I guess you could put it.
He's definitely a unique teacher. He goes above and beyond, He encourages them to get the most out of his students, whether that be by belittling them or throwing objects at their face while they play. He gets it done.
Yeah, so, and then as the film progresses, obviously, the relationship between, and I'm sorry, I don't know the main character's name, Neiman, there we go. The relationship between Neiman and Fletcher starts to become strained, and eventually Neiman ends up erupting after frantically trying to retrieve his sticks and get back to the stage before Fletcher gave his spot in the band to another drummer. So
he pushes this kid too hard, basically, and the kid pushes back.
But then, he does eventually, redeem himself, sort of, because he tricks him into coming and performing at a show that he's doing in front of all these bigwigs of jazz music. And I guess they never forget. He makes sure to mention that. And so he tells them that they're doing the same music that they did with the studio band. He actually is doing a song that's completely different. So Neiman
doesn't have sheet music for him.
He has no idea what he's playing, so he's just trying to play along and do what he can, which obviously, judging from the looks of the other players, isn't right.
Doesn't work.
So then what he does is decides to just play those songs anyways from the studio band so well that Fletcher is essentially forced into working alongside with him.
He's forced to let him have his moment. Yeah.
And through that, they seem to develop a little bit of a bond at the end there.
Seems to be a little bit of...
that's a full synopsis, as far as...
Yeah, that's a good synopsis. Well done. It's the story of pushing yourself and others to the limit and seeing what happens. This movie, I think it must have been like a Sundance-y kind of, a movie competition kind of film, because it came out of nowhere on my radar. I had known nothing about it until the nominations came out.
Yeah, same.
And this is why we do, the Road to the Oscars, because I like to see these kind of movies that slip under the radar. I'm sure I would have dug it up eventually, being that J.K. Simmons is awesome. And fun fact, Miles Teller, the kid who plays Andrew, is going to be Mr. Fantastic in the next Fantastic Four.
Oh, I did read that, actually.
So I'm sure I would have found this film a year or two from now, but I'm glad I watched it now. This film was awesome. And I don't know, it's a lot different than what you expect, and even, the rest of the nominees are far different than this little, this simple little film. But it goes a long way to show both how hard this kid tries to become the next Buddy Rich, the next great jazz drummer, and also I think it cinematically shows the way these guys play music and work together, and it shows that really well. Like, the performances in the movie itself are quite good. What'd you think about this film?
I thought it was extremely well done. I thought a lot of the shots where they're showing the musicians playing the instruments, and it would be the extreme close-ups of just the hand, or for instance, even at the beginning when he first goes into the studio band, you see Buddy release the spit valve,
the spit valve, and
the floor, yeah.
And the reeds and stuff. Yeah, there's a ton of close-ups in this.
Yeah, the way that they shot that stuff, I thought was extremely well executed. The way that it kind of told a story itself inside of the story, kind of like focusing on the instruments
and the the professionalism of the people that are the top level musicians.
Because the way I took it too is because if you think of J.K. Simmons' character, really, right? He doesn't care about the people. He just cares about the instrument, because you're not. Neiman's not Neiman drumming; it's just his drummer, so he needs you on tempo, which is a very emphasized point.
Not on my tempo.
That's J.K. Speaking of which, we'll just jump right into the performances anyway. So J.K. Simmons once again delivers an outstanding performance.
Nominated for Best Supporting Actor this year.
And well deserved too, and I mean
he does a great job, man.
This role is definitely suited for J.K. Simmons, similar to how J. Jonah Jameson in Spider-Man was definitely suited for J.K. Simmons.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely, he's perfect for this role. The eccentric teacher, the teacher that's like you start to wonder at his tactics, like how, at what point...
Some of his little quips are just absolutely fucking hilarious.
Oh, yeah, he's brutal to his students. He expects nothing less. And it does a good job. It does, sprinkle in glimpses of his humanity and also his, like, pure, undying love for jazz. Like, he clearly loves jazz more than he loves any of his students, and himself, for that matter. But at the same time, he comes off as, like, the drill sergeant from Full Metal Jacket, but in a fucking orchestra room.
But that's clearly evident, too, in the fact that, like, Neiman tells him that when he was a child, his mother left him, or whatnot, or have you, left him and his dad. And then he immediately
uses that against him in class. He
actually says that to him. He's like,
no wonder Daddy left.
Yeah, no wonder Mommy left you,
Yeah. You can't even keep a fucking beat. Yeah, he belittles his students.
He's slapping them in the face. So now
one, two, three. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Am I dragging or am I? What is it?
Am I dragging or rushing? Yeah.
Yeah. Am I rushing or am I dragging?
Yeah. He uses slaps in the face to illustrate tempo. How about that? So yeah, he is kind of like the drill sergeant from Full Metal Jacket, but in a band scenario. Like I think, was it the trombone players? Yeah, where he's trying to weed out the trombone player who's flat or off key, and he does them one by one until the fucking guy's crying because he's making fun of him. It's like, get the fuck out of here, and then just boom, like that, removes him and gets the next in line to replace him.
Yeah, because that's all it is to him. It's just a bunch of instruments.
And I imagine at that level it is very cutthroat. Those are the best young musicians in the world, right?
Well, because like Neiman says too, I mean, he says that everything he did was to try and get the best out of the musicians that he had, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, even Neiman said, what was too much where you have somebody just not even try.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can push someone far enough that they're no longer gonna want what they are, after. Like the other drummer, how he switched to pre-med after the whole catastrophe. He's like, nope, I'm done with jazz.
I mean, Ray Lewis is even hosting a TV show right now, a reality show, where they actually talk to coaches who are freaking crazy in the head like that. Mm-hmm. That spaz out, freak out on people.
And there's no shortage of, music or, even sports coaches and stuff that are a little eccentric.
Oh, yeah, definitely not.
Yeah, and I think that is somewhat required to get the best of the best, or to weed out everyone so you're left with the best of the best. But you start to wonder if J.K. Simmons, is he pushing it too hard? I don't know, does throwing a tom drum at somebody, does that...
Well, and the one thing that I don't understand either is that J.K. Simmons says at the one point, remember he says that student of his, Sean Cassidy, something like that. Mm-hmm. He says that he died in a car accident. But when the lady is talking to Neiman at the end of the near the end of the film, anyways, she says that he killed himself,
mm-hmm.
and that he suffered from depression and this and that.
Yeah, I never caught that actually.
So I don't understand, unless she was talking about somebody else saying it was just that it was in his class, or...
Could have been somebody else, or it could have been J.K. Simmons' character omitting that fact, right? Maybe,
exactly.
Maybe realizing that he might have had a hand in this kid's depression.
Well, yeah, because that's what she says. She said there's whoever it is that she is speaking of, she says that his mother said that his depression and something else started when he was in Fletcher's class. Mm-hmm. So... Because I remember that's exactly when Neiman...
He could have killed himself by car, you know.
Yeah, true. And that's when they pretty much forced Neiman to say that he abuses students and yada, yada, yada. That gets him fired. Which leads to J.K. Simmons' character of Fletcher pretty much fucking him over, or at least attempting to. Not realizing that he's... And that's the other thing that I don't understand. So at the end, it basically seems like... So he's supposed to be, like, he is the next Buddy Rich? Is that kind of...
Yes, yes, he is. And
because he didn't get discouraged. I do like the movie, but I don't really like that part of it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. There's a few discrepancies here and there, but from what my understanding, yeah, he's the next Buddy Rich quite clearly. By that last performance is amazing, and it kind of does go to prove J.K. Simmons' point. Like the real next Buddy Rich wouldn't quit. He just wouldn't, regardless of what I did or anyone else did. And even though the main character does take a break for a while there after the whole forgetting his sticks incident, which was an amazing scene, I thought.
Gets hit by a truck while driving the car, runs back to the to the stage. Anyways.
Yeah, he's en route to a performance out of town. His bus breaks down, so he rents a car, and he's rushing too fast, so he gets hit by a fucking semi-truck. What does he do? Go to the hospital? Nah. He just runs into the...
runs right into the auditorium. And
starts playing all bloody and beat up, and can't play through the pain.
Or the theater, or wherever it is.
Yeah, he can't play through the pain, because, I don't know, he just got hit by a semi-truck or something. And he fails, and JK calls him out, and it kind of explodes. He then proceeds to tackle him in front of the whole audience.
Yeah.
Basically sealing his career at that school as well. And it later ended J.K. Simmons' career as well. Fletcher's career, sorry.
Yep.
That was quite the turn of events. I thought that was pretty crazy that someone would be... I guess it's not too unbelievable, but someone's that dedicated to a craft, to achieving a goal.
Well, and he felt that he had earned his spot, right?
Yeah. And I do get how hard he tried. All those training scenes where he's trying to build up his speed, and he just busts his fucking hands open all over the drums. I love the scene where he finally gets to the point where he just punches through the snare drum and he just snaps. I'm just, oh man, wow.
It's just like, fuck you.
Yeah, no, I did play a little drums when I was younger, and I did play until my hands bled a couple times, but then I stopped. This guy just keeps fucking going, like blood everywhere. It's intense.
He's definitely determined to be the best.
I did like that shot of him putting his bloody fist into that jug of water. I'm like, oh my god. He destroyed his hands for this love of the game. And I guess it turned out to be worth it, that ending performance. Wow. Yeah, what do you think about Miles' character? Andrew, the main antagonist, if you will.
Demon? He did a good job. I mean, he pretty much just kind of plays a young, I guess, somewhat smug, sort of arrogant kid.
He's got a little cockiness to him.
He does a good job of it. I mean, I don't have anything to complain about with it. I think him and J.K. Simmons play well off of each other.
Yeah, definitely.
Him and, I don't know her name, so I'm just going to call her the chick from the new cast of Glee.
Who plays Nicole or whatever?
Yeah.
His part-time girlfriend there.
Yeah, I mean, realistically...
Melissa Benoit, something like that.
Benoit?
Benoit, maybe.
Pretty sure she's Canadian. Yeah. But either way... Marley, that's her name in Glee, but I don't know why we're talking about her right now. Anyways, so with Andrew Neiman too, and her character, the thing I didn't like is if you're gonna have such a limited relationship between two people where you really don't even develop it or barely have it on screen, why bother with it at all?
I thought that as well, actually, because it was kind of just on, I don't know.
He it's a performance. It's just a question I have.
I mean, he asks her out when he's all high on his high horse, and then he realizes he's gonna have to dedicate everything to drumming, so he breaks it off with her in really the worst way I've possibly ever seen, because that was awful to watch. But yeah, you're right. It was so short-lived. Why even bother? But I think that led to illustrate like how already willing he was to throw away everything for drumming. Because she's like, how do you know that it's not going to work out? How do you know that we're going to resent each other? He's like, doesn't matter. Not going to take the chance. Drumming is life now. I'm like, fuck. I was thinking exactly what she said. What the fuck is wrong with you? You don't say that to somebody. Ever.
And you're right. I mean, I guess it was there to illustrate that point further.
I guess,
than you could have before, with just how defensive he gets when they're talking about the drumming at the dinner table, or even just with the scenes where he's working those extra hours just trying to work on his speed.
Mm-hmm. That was slightly, I didn't really like that all that much either. The whole the dinner table sibling rivalries, like, oh yeah, this is the football player. What do you do?
I thought that was hilarious, just because he was like, it's Division 3.
I liked how he piped up with that, but I'm just like, really, we need a sibling rivalry on top of this as well, and he has to play college football, and obviously Dad doesn't give a shit about music because he loves his football. I'm like, dude, he's at the best school in the world. It's not nothing.
The way I'm pretty sure that's the uncle, because then.
Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry, it's the
I don't know his name, but Buddy from Mad About You, he's his dad.
Yeah, you're right. What's that actor's name?
Paul Schaefer.
Paul Reiser.
Paul Reiser. I was like, who the hell's Paul Schaefer? Paul Schaefer's Buddy from. Isn't that Buddy that's in like that band for?
I think he's in Jay Leno's band. Yeah.
The bald guy.
Yeah. A little bit different. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Anyways, where were we?
That is funny. Yeah, Chris Mulkey is who you're thinking of, plays the uncle.
Oh, okay.
He was also in Rambo: First Blood. Fun fact.
Oh, good for him.
Good for him. Really, really on the up and up. But yeah, I did like how he was just completely ignored for his clearly above average drumming. It's Division 3. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. You
play college football. Let's not be ridiculous here.
Yeah, if he was that good, he would have transferred to a Division 1 school.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I know jazz might not be your thing, but this kid's among the best in the world, especially for his age. Should you not give him a pat on the back for that? I don't know.
I think that deserves a kudos.
Yeah, it's impressive, nonetheless. I have respect for any musician who can do it well, because it's not easy. It's like learning.
No, it's not.
It's like learning a different language per instrument that you play, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not an easy thing to do. But
other than Andrew Neiman's the character of Andrew Neiman and the character of Fletcher, I really didn't think that there was really that much to any other characters where the performances really were all that standout. If you will.
None of the other performances were all that important, as far as I'm concerned. Even his dad. Characters. Yeah, even his dad, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. One thing I would have liked to see more of was maybe a little bit more of him interacting with his classmates, and like maybe the backup drummer. I guess it was a feud of sorts, but I think they could have, looked into that a little bit more. Because I would be fucking pissed if this kid lost my book. And I
love that part where they just say, well, and J.K. Simmons even said, he says, the only reason you're in here is because you misplaced a folder.
Yeah. I would have been raging if I was that kid.
When he walks in the next day, the piano player looks at him and he's like, don't you touch my fucking folder.
Yeah, there wasn't really any interaction with him and the other students, which I was hoping there'd be a little more of that. Just because I think it could have been interesting. But I did like at the end where he's like, are you kidding me? This is my fucking part. And he tells the other drummer to shut the fuck up. And he's worked so hard that he's done with, Fletcher's shit at that point. He's like, now I'm playing it.
And he does have that awesome scene at the very end, too, with the drum solo that lasts what seems like forever.
It is an exceptional drum solo.
But I definitely think it's a well directed movie, and especially as far as in terms of filmmaking with even the editing, I think it's put together so nicely that it just flows so well as a film, and you don't even think about the fact that it's completely about music.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
It is completely about music, and
you're a lot more invested in it than just having it be about someone trying to, make a band or something like that. It's more about, it seems like there's a high stake in it where it's the music's this guy's life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is all he wants.
It's a perfect example of making
it's very well done to convey that message.
Yeah, it's another great example of a movie taking a subject that not everyone's going to have an interest in and making it into a well-made, enjoyable film. And,
yeah, exactly.
That's never, it's not the easiest thing to do in the world. Not every film can, make something exciting that isn't exciting to a lot of people. And this one filmed it really fucking well, and emphasized the music when it needed to be emphasized. And it was also written by the same guy that directed it too. So
nice.
Props to him. He's multi-talented. Guy named Damien Chazelle.
Yeah, I really did like the way that it was shot, especially the way a lot of the scenes are composed. Even especially, like you said, the scenes where he's practicing by himself.
Mm-hmm.
Those are beautifully done, in my opinion. And with how they shot the music scenes, or with everybody setting up piece by piece, showing each piece of the instrument and how they get it ready for the process. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed that a lot. I thought that was extremely well done.
It made it even more
enjoyable, it made it even a more highly enjoyable film for that matter.
I agree. Lots of really sharp camera work, nice close-ups and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It emphasized the motion. I like the back and forth swinging shot between Fletcher and the drummer at the end when they were like synchronizing for that awesome finale there.
Everything's done well as far as the camera work and the way that it's lit and
the way they
how it looks.
Yeah, the way they visualize how these guys play is really well. In some scenes, it's like a well filmed live performance of like a professional jazz band, right? And I'm sure the other characters in the band must have been musicians, because it all looked very, very believable to me. And that's a question I had that I wasn't able to find out, is that did this kid learn how to jazz drum for this role? Because it seemed like a lot of it was him playing, and that's impressive.
I don't know. I would assume that, because I would agree with you, it did look like he was actually playing the drums for a lot of the time. I just figured he must know how to play drums and actually be that good.
I kind of assumed that as well, but
it does show a bunch of parts where does seem to be focused more so just on his hands, where it could have been somebody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff where you don't really see him and the drums are going, so who knows?
Yeah, who knows? But either way, he must have learned a little bit of jazz drumming.
Yeah.
Because he picks it up well, he plays it well.
Yeah, at least he's got the motions down, if not, so.
He's got his stick work down, and that's another thing. If you are a musician, you're gonna enjoy this a little bit more, I think, because it does illustrate the craft of playing, drums specifically, but all the instruments really well. And this is one of the best musically themed films
I would agree.
I've seen, maybe ever, actually, now that I think about it, because I can't think of too many that tell this kind of rise to not even rise to power, but like a musically themed drama, if you will. There's not a lot of good ones. I think this is the best.
I would agree with that.
Potentially the
best. I've definitely never seen one that's better.
I can't think of,
especially visually. Honestly, the film's visually stunning over everything, and then aside from that, it's very well written. And I feel like the way that J.K. Simmons handles his character carries it throughout the entire thing, especially with his relationship with Neiman.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, I feel as though it's a good film that you can just watch anytime. I think it's one of those ones that, like you said, a lot of people might not have heard of it because it's a little bit under the radar. Mm-hmm. But it definitely stands alone against a lot of the other films that are nominated for Best Picture. And I actually think that it's a more entertaining film than something even like, say, American Sniper.
Mm-hmm. I actually was debating that in my head because we usually compare as we go along. Our last review was American Sniper, which was a fantastic film, in its majority. But this might be.
I enjoyed it better.
I think pound for pound, this is a more entertaining film. Like
I enjoyed it more, I should say.
Yeah, Whiplash, as a conclusive product, is just a better film. I think it works better. J.K. Simmons carries it like a boss. He sells his character. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. There's not a lot bad to say about this film, except for
the sequences are beautiful. Everything's done well. There's no incredibly fake baby.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's definitely it's easily one of the best films of the year, which is obviously why it's getting this type of attention. But just the way that it's done, it's so much different than anything I've seen, especially like you said, something that's musically derived, right? Something that's just simply about music, really, and just about one musician trying to accomplish his dreams or realize his dreams. So there's not really too many other films out there that are like it, and I feel like it's a more realistic view of something like that, because, I mean, it seems like as he's doing it, it kind of changes him, because as you see when he first meets that girl in the movie theater, he kind of keeps his head down, and then as he gains his confidence, it's finally when he asks her out, and then as he becomes kind of an arrogant prick is when he horrendously breaks up with her.
Yeah, that was a cringeworthy breakup. Yeah, I mean, he sells his the whole, that comes with talent, right? It boosts your self-esteem the better you get at something, especially if it's important to you, / all you've been spending your whole life working towards it, right? Because they even showed the main character as a child playing drums in that one little shot there, because he's clearly been playing drums his whole life. This is important to him, and it illustrates that perfectly, I think. And
I would agree with that as well, and I mean, realistically, aside from what we've already been talking about, the only other thing that I can really think of that's substantial is, I mean, the soundtrack of this film is absolutely awesome. Like, it's just brilliant.
I would buy it if I saw it in the store. I might look into buying it, actually.
Well, and I could have sworn, is it Cypress Hill? Cypress Hill or somebody has a song that uses Caravan as I believe it's Cypress Hill as the
sample,
Yeah, sample. Just a little sample, but sorry, anyways, yeah. So I mean, the music in it is actually awesome. It's not one of those films where it's like, oh, great, an orchestra, and it's classical music that not a lot of people are into. I mean, it's no Mr. Holland's Opus, but
Google it, kids. Google it.
It's definitely more enjoyable because of the fact that maybe you didn't know that you would like these songs, or you didn't really, because I didn't really think that I would know anything about the music they were playing until I noticed that, and I heard the boom, 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 and I was like, oh, I recognize that.
Yeah, a lot of music is inspired by jazz, and it's kind of crazy that
hip hop does come from jazz.
Yeah, of course, and Motown funk, it spreads all kinds of ways. And where was I going with that point? I'm not sure, but
jazz is in everything.
Yeah. You may think you won't be into jazz, and you're like, it's 2015. Who is still professionally playing jazz? Like, I get that, but no, it's I'm glad people still do, because jazz is cool, and there's a great musicianship that comes with it. It's kind of like. It's weird to compare it to something like metal, but the talent it takes to play something like metal or jazz or one of those high tempo styles of music, it's fucking impressive.
And I think this does a great job of illustrating that point, right? Kind of showing, especially like you said, with those bloody hand scenes and
lightning,
the kind of torment he goes through, even from Fletcher.
Oh yeah, lightning fast. Jazz is fucking quick. Very quick.
Well, and I don't know if you noticed, but in the one scene where neither Neiman or Tanner or whatever the other guy's name is, Conway or something, neither one of them is able to
keep the beat.
Yeah, to keep the beat, and then he keeps them for what I believe when it shows on the clock is several hours. Just trying to play as fast as they can.
They start at like 2 in the morning or something.
Yeah, he says we can start now. For the rest of the band, I mean, and now he's supposed to play that again.
Yeah.
That just kind of shows
that scene was awesome.
Yeah, that just kind of shows the the strength of his dream, really, and his ability to kind of push through the pain, if you will.
And J.K. or Fletcher's character's ability to get that from somebody.
Well, he even says when he asks him about
unconventional means, maybe, but
he even says when he asks him about the one kid that he was only meant as essentially incentive for Neiman to try harder. So it kind of seems like he does have that sort of evil genius kind of master plan that works out in the end, realistically.
Yeah, it did work out in the end. Kind of.
So it's kind of interesting that way, too, because you don't really see too many films these days where an antagonist and a protagonist are basically aligned at the end of the film.
No, you don't usually
Through a common love for jazz.
For jazz music. Crank up that jazz music. Yeah, it's such dedication on both characters' fronts that they play off each other really well. Mind you, I would not want to be taught by Fletcher. I don't think
No,
I
not
got.
at all.
I don't think I got the balls to get a chair thrown at me while I'm playing and keep on beat, if you will.
Well, I would have fucking hit him back then. The second he threw a chair at me, I think I'd be going after him.
Oh yeah, maybe this is filmed and like this is supposed to be set in a different era because I don't know. A teacher throws anything at a student, that teacher never works again. Like that's the way these things usually go. Unfortunately, I'm sure many teachers want to punch their fucking kids out. I don't blame them, but you can't.
Yeah, no, not these days, unfortunately.
No, this ain't the good old days of the ruler, unfortunately.
But overall, is there anything else that you think we should really talk about with this?
Probably not. I think we covered it. I mean, it is a movie that's simple in premise, and you might think that reading like a synopsis online, but I think you should give it a chance anyways, because you may read, oh, it's about a kid who plays the drums. That's nice. No, it's a little bit more than that, and you should give it a chance. I think a lot of people will really enjoy this.
I agree.
I think it has a wide potential audience that hopefully it wins something this year, and more people check it out because this is a rad movie. Anything else you'd like to add, sir?
Oh, no, just like I said, I honestly think it's better than some of the other Academy Award nominations for Best Picture. Even American Sniper, I thought it was more enjoyable than that film. I thought it was even more enjoyable than The Imitation Game. And to be perfectly honest, I wouldn't be surprised if, a lot of people who watch it think the same thing, especially compared to the other films, because it's not lighthearted. It's still like a serious drama that just happens to be based around this musician and his desire to be the best, right? So I feel like people just need to give this film a chance, and I think it could do better than some of these other films, and it might actually get the notoriety that it deserves.
I will say it would be most crazy if this won Best Picture. Not only because
That would be awesome.
Not only because it's a true underdog, but this is, if I'm reading this correctly, this is this director's first full-length film, and he's done what looks like are a couple of shorts before this, and that would be some crazy ass shit. A man's first directorial debut earns him a Best Picture. I don't think that's been done since Frank Darabont did it with Shawshank Redemption. Yeah, that'd be crazy. And I just hope it gets more people to see it. Maybe it hits Netflix in a couple months and gets out there, because this is a good movie. And unfortunately, I think it might go under a lot of people's radars, but hey, that's why we do this, to tell you motherfuckers to go watch it.
I'm telling you, it's better than the other ones that are nominated, so you have to see it.
It is.
Trust me.
It is. I mean, we'll get to the bottom line where we've seen them all and compare, but this is looking at the top, the cream of the crop. At least the top three, we'll say. Score. Do you have a rating you'd like to give it?
I give it a 9 out of 10.
I would agree with that wholeheartedly. That's what I was going to give it too. 9 out of 10. It's almost perfect, drama. It's a few little nitpicks here and there, but otherwise a really well-made film, really enjoyable. 9 out of 10. Yes. Anything else, sir?
No, I think that's about it. I think we've covered it all.
All right. Thank you all for watching the Movieverse podcast show. This has been our review of Whiplash. I hope you've enjoyed. Links to all of our work down below. Like and subscribe if you dig what we do, and we'll see you next time.